Last Sunday, we talked about something that changed my perspective. One hard day doesn't mean we've lost our way. That conversation seemed to resonate with so many parents because we've all had those days. The difficult conversation, the argument, the hurt feelings, the misunderstanding. But after I shared that video, I realized there's another question that naturally follows. Okay, but what do we do the next day? Because that's often when parenting a struggling young adult becomes even harder. Sometimes we wake up still carrying the hurt, while our young adult seems to have moved on as if nothing happened. So today, I'd like to have a conversation about what it means to keep showing up after one of those hard days. I don't know if you've ever experienced this. You spend half the night replaying the conversation. You wonder if you said too much or not enough. You wish they understood your heart. You wish they could see how deeply their words affect you. Then the next morning, they're asking where the car keys are, or later, what's for dinner, or telling you about something that happened at work, almost as if though yesterday never happened. That can be incredibly frustrating, I know, especially when they were disrespectful or spoke harshly, or blamed you for everything, or never acknowledged their part in what happened. You're still emotionally standing in yesterday, and they moved on as if nothing happened. That disconnect can be one of the hardest parts of parenting a struggling young adult. For me, the next day used to disappear, not physically, emotionally. I'd go to work, but it was hard to focus. I'd think about the conversation, replaying it, wondering what I should have said differently, imagining what I hoped my son would eventually understand. If he blamed me, I was mentally defending myself. If he misunderstood me, I kept trying to explain it in my own mind. Without realizing it, I had allowed one difficult interaction to consume an entire day and sometimes several days. Life kept moving, but emotionally, I stayed stuck. Today, I'm learning something different. Not because the hurt disappears overnight, it doesn't. Not because disrespect suddenly doesn't affect me, it still does. The difference is that I'm asking myself a different question. Instead of asking, how do I get my son to understand? I ask, how do I want to live today? Because while I'm waiting for an apology or accountability or understanding, my own life still needs to happen. I still have work to do. I still have a marriage to nurture, friends to enjoy, chores to do. I still have a life to live. I've realized that continuing the journey sometimes means choosing not to put my own life on hold and wait for my son to change. That doesn't mean pretending yesterday didn't happen. It doesn't mean ignoring disrespect. And it doesn't mean giving up on healthy conversations. It simply means recognizing that today deserves my attention too. Sometimes showing up looks like revisiting the conversation later. Sometimes it means deciding today isn't the day. Sometimes it means holding the same boundary without reopening the same argument. Sometimes it simply means going to work, calling a friend, taking the walk, laughing with your spouse, and remembering that your life is bigger than one difficult interaction. That's what continuing the journey has begun to look like for me. I'd like to leave you with a couple questions. Have you ever found yourself still carrying yesterday while your young adult has already moved on? If so, what helps you continue living today? Not forgetting yesterday, not pretending it didn't happen, but continuing your own journey anyway. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments because I think many of us are learning this together. The journey continues, not because every difficult conversation gets resolved, not because every hurt is acknowledged, and not because our young adults always respond the way that we hope. The journey continues because every new day gives us another opportunity to decide how we're going to live that day. Yesterday may still need healing. Tomorrow may bring another challenge. But today, I can keep showing up, and sometimes that's enough. Thank you for joining me today. I'll see you next Sunday for another conversation here on From Chaos to Connect.